All right, so I am doing a video now on some of my favorite gloves, and obviously, mostly one of the biggest bucket list gloves out there. A lot of people love these gloves. These are the Grant boxing gloves. These are in 12 ounces. They're essentially just the training gloves because obviously they're in 12 ounces. And I got this in the black and red colorway, mostly black. I know there's also another stock colorway. These are stock as well. But there's another stock colorway that'll be red mostly within the black. So this part would be red, but this one right now is black. I got these like I want to say a little over a year ago, not too long ago. Got them on eBay, on their eBay store. I did originally talk to the person through Facebook, but ultimately the prices were too high, and at that time, specifically at that time in 2023 when I was trying to talk to them about it, they had nothing left in stock but Velcro, and if you wanted to get anything special ordered, it was insane money. So just put that in perspective. Like, it started off at $1,300. So yeah, so these are 12-ounce gloves. As you can see, it'll show it right here on the tag here. They both came in over 14 ounces, which is expected because I think of, a lot of Mexican-made gloves made in Mexico. They're not really on weight most of the time, but these are really over by 2 ounces, over 2 ounces. So because of that, when coming in at 14.1 and 14.2 or something like that, that's kind of crazy for the price you pay, but it is what it is. Not a big deal. I got these in 12s just because of that reason alone. I was concerned about the size of the glove and also the weight of the glove. So, in terms of the leather, you're going to be looking at a high quality cowhide leather, and it is definitely high quality. I mean, really good quality. It's very thick, in my opinion. So I'm trying to pinch it, and I'm pinching it, and there's a good amount of thickness to the leather. It's very, very durable feeling. So that is a massive plus. In terms of, if it's kind of glossy. I can see it kind of being glossy. It has a shine to it. Not slippery or anything, but has a shine, a little bit of texture. I've used these a lot, so that's why you see some of these wrinkles here. So some of the patina I put on here, but other than that, it's been pretty good. The liner is going to be a polyester kind of satin liner, I believe. Definitely feels that way. It isn't soap. It feels moisture wicking for sure, but could kind of feels kind of warm too. So if you can see the lining, it's a soft lining. It's not kind of like that nylon lining or that canvas lining that you get when you could actually hear it when you're touching it. This is not like that. So it has a really nice soft liner. It does feel moisture wicking, so it is nice. In terms of the padding, I believe this is a latex. I got the base model of the glove, so I'm assuming it's a latex. I know you can get all different types of padding with Grant gloves, and so for me, once you start getting the different paddings and customize the gloves, it gets way too high. So I wanted to try this base model out anyways to see how well it was, but it is essentially it feels like a latex, essentially just like a regular latex glove. The style of the glove, obviously you're gonna have that Mexican style. You got the triple cuff here on the back, very nice, very firm, very firm. You have the welted seams, and these welted seams are not exactly, they don't pop out like other welted seam gloves do. At least mine don't. You can see them through the cracks here, the white welted seams, all the way through the thumb area, and you see it through here. So it's all around the glove. Very, I like welted seams. They seem a lot more durable to me, and it adds a nice touch to the glove. It definitely looks better. So in terms of that, it's nice. The stitching, I got a lot of double stitching here, and the stitching is super clean. So I got a lot of double stitching here, and then you got the single stitch coming all the way around from here down to the side, but then you get double stitching by the grip bar here. The palm side, you can see there's a split here on the palm. A lot of their custom gloves, I'm sure you got, different colors here, different colors here. You can customize them in many ways. The thumb is one of the coolest things about the glove, I think, to me, is that nice, pattern, that triple pattern here. I actually like this a lot. It kind of makes it look more sharp, in my opinion. Obviously, you're going to see that there's a separated thumb. So that's stitched on there. It's not that big of a deal. What else? In terms of the wrist, I was talking about the triple padding on the back here. That's not too bad. There's a lot of gloves out there you see that the triple padding, the triple cuff here will be like pronounced all the way out here. This is nice and kind of flat towards the back end of the glove. So I really like that because it makes the glove look sleeker and not so bulky on the wrist. Now, what's surprising is this thickness of the inside of the palm here and the wrist the portion of it. The thickness is insane. So just there, that thickness is probably like 1.5 inches or something crazy. It is dense. It's soft, but it's like packed. It feels like it's packed in there, and that is super protective on the wrist. You can even see it's bubbling up here. Just so much padding here. It's a ton. So that's something that I think it's good for your wrist. It's more of a safe glove in terms of that. So I like that a lot about the glove. Now, as you can see, I feel like there's portions of the glove that have kind of, the leather is different than other portions of the glove. Like this portion here has kind of like a thinner type of feel of leather and texture than the rest of the glove here. So that's interesting. I've noticed that earlier today, and I wanted to put that out there because it's only on this specific area here that it has that kind of feel and touch to it, but it's not a big deal, but something that I'm just trying to find things to nitpick about. Okay, so also I want to talk about the laces. The laces kind of have like this cloth-like feel. They feel like just regular shoelaces you get from a shoe. Like not a fancy shoelace either. It's just like cloth. It's not my favorite because there's no stretch to it. There's no, absolutely zero stretch. It's just basically just very tough, and it is decent in terms of the length of it. So that's not a bit. I like that too. Especially for a 12-ounce glove, you don't need that much laces, but it has a good amount of laces. I'll say medium in length. When it comes to the thumb, it's interesting here. I do want to talk about that because it kind of has like a curving inward look to it. It goes out and then very much so in. So it goes out and then in, like under the padding here. And that kind of puts your hands in this kind of cool, real fist position type feel. So I think that's a really good feature here. I don't mind it. I thought I was going to feel a little bit of discomfort, but I definitely didn't. In terms of the grip bar, it is a beautiful one. I love this one. It is the right size. It's like such a good size for the glove size, and it's so firm that it's definitely something that you can feel. It's definitely something you could feel. So I am in love with this portion of the glove a little bit because I love, gloves that you could feel the grip bar, and it's just a really, really nice thick grip bar. In terms of the air holes, you'll see that there is no air holes in the fingers compartment or the palm compartment here. You don't see any of that. You'll see them you'll see big air holes here on the thumb portion, right? And I think there's about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 maybe on the thumb. So you get a lot right there on the thumb. So that's a really good thing. I'm into that. So the glove doesn't get too hot. I'm always a big fan of air holes. I don't know, some people don't do it at all, and then the glove kind of gets a little sweaty. Then you're gonna have to open the glove and air it out so crazy. You should always open them anyways, but ultimately it's better to not sweat too much inside the glove if you don't have to. So that's a good thing. Now I want to compare the size of this glove to essentially, I don't have many other 12-ounce gloves. I sold so many of them because I don't use them that much. Not anymore. So I want to compare them to the size of the 14-ounce new sporting gloves. The new sporting gloves actually came in. Let me see really quickly. I think they came in around the same weight. Okay, the new sporting gloves came in at 15 ounces, so this is an ounce bigger or ounce heavier. And essentially, they're not too big, too different in size. They, a lot of people say they think that they're made kind of the same, but as you can see, the thumb is a little different here than it is here. They have differences, obviously. But in terms of that sizing, you can see that this is a 12, this is the 14, and this is probably the closest glove I can compare the sizes to, so you guys can get a better understanding of how small the 12s are. Also, let me get another new sporting glove here. All right, so you can see compared to a 16-ounce new sporting glove, that's the size 12, that's the 16-ounce, just so people have a better understanding. Yeah, so I wouldn't say this is the smallest 12-ounce gloves. I've had 12-ounce gloves that look really small. These obviously are supposed to be for the bags and the pads. They're not supposed to be for sparring. And the reason why I got them is because so many professional boxers, they use them for the bags and the pads. And I thought, well, if they're doing it, I want to try it. And that's why I've actually used these. Because originally I was like, should I use them? Because, I don't want to damage them or whatever. But I obviously, at heart, I want to use the equipment. So in terms of the inside of the hand compartment, how it feels, nice and snug in here for sure. All right, so right now my thumb is in a really good position. It's kind of curving downward like this. My fist is actually pretty close down. I'm not making a fist right now, so this is automatically a flat punching surface. So as you can see, it has a really nice punching surface. Punching dynamics is really nice on this glove. Now, once I push my hand in a bigger fist position, you'll see that it even goes further in, and it really does connect with the knuckles here. It's still not super flat. It has kind of a rounded look, but it doesn't feel that way when you hit with the bags. When I open my hands, I could open them easily, no problems. These gloves are extremely, in my opinion, they're nice and snug, and they feel really nice. The thumb is very comfortable. The fingertip compartment has like a really thick rolled up piece of, it feels like felt. It's warm, and it's really thick and warm. It really feels like a secondary grip bar, honestly, like a real secondary grip bar. So when you do put your hands and fists in there, you actually do feel the grip bars connecting with each other. In terms of the wrist, you can see my wrist is super secure. I would not be at all worried about anything happening to my wrist here. The laces, they go around one time and a half, I would say. Yeah. So, yeah, like I said, if you have problems with laces, you can always replace them. No biggie on that one. Laces are the easiest things to fix on a glove because you can do that yourself. So, yeah. And as for the pop, because this latex, I like it a lot. I do like hitting the bags with these. I like that kind of pop. It really does make me feel like I'm really, really connecting. It does give you that kind of, sinking in feel like you actually are, your knuckles are piercing through, which is nice. And it's because of how I would imagine, most people would agree with me that the padding isn't necessarily a medium padding. It's like a medium to soft. So if I could touch my knuckles, which I could, and you could see that, I'm touching my knuckles here, I would say it's like a medium to soft padding. So it does allow you to essentially really get really good feedback on the glove, and it has a really nice sound when hitting bags in the mitts. So all in all, it's a really good performing glove, in my opinion, at least. So I guess the big thing to talk about is the price. Okay, so I got these, like I want to say a year and a half ago, maybe a little over a year ago, and they were 600, 650 or so on their eBay. Now, that's an insane price, and no matter how much I like these gloves, $600 or $650 or plus, shipping on top of that, you're really paying for, this logo more than anything else. Just to say you have it, basically. Or if you're really somebody who is a professional fighter and you actually use these and they're your favorite gloves, then I understand why you would go for it, because of the durability. The durability it's a very durable glove, so it feels like these gloves will last a long time. Floyd Mayweather uses a lot of these gloves in the bags, so a lot of boxers do. So I would say, it could be worth it to some, but if I had $600 right now, $650 right now, $700, I wouldn't get another pair of Grants. I would probably get multiple other pairs of gloves. So, yeah. And on top of it, like I said, if you start to get a different colorway, which is another thing, if you get a different colorway entirely, you're talking insane numbers. You're talking about, numbers far exceeding into the thousands for custom colors or custom paddings or anything like that. So just keep that in mind. This is the base model of it, and right now I go on their eBay and they only have one glove, and it was a custom glove, and that it's like $3,000. So they don't even have like these regular gloves on their eBay anymore. Maybe if you try on Facebook, you can get a contact with him and work something out with the base look. But even then, the gloves are still going to be well past $600. I mean, I'm sure the price has even gotten higher. I'm not necessarily sure how much it is, but I'm sure it has gotten a little higher. So keep that in mind. Ultimately, to each his own. Final thoughts are really great glove, really great performing glove. It is really, really good. I would say that, for a fraction of the price, you can get a pair of new sporting gloves, and be just as happy with them, honestly, because they honestly are very, very similar in a lot of ways. As you can see, these new sporting gloves have the welted seams. They have the double stitching across. They have a little single stitching all the way from down here. They're basically almost really close to identical. So even they have this nice big padding here on the wrist here, triple cuff, the three design thumb. So, and the padding here is this one's a little softer, I would say, but ultimately I think you can probably get definitely for a fraction of the price, get something very similar. But if you want the logo like I do, and if you want to collect like I do, and you want to feel what all the professional fighters are using, then I would say get these. That's my review.